Hello, my name is Reverend Aki Aheen, coming to you live from the Mountain of Eagles Ministry. I'm here today just to talk to you about a few different things. One in particular on how to create, that we was born in the image of God, that we can create. Me and Master Mike, I call him, Mike Martinez, was talking about this the other day. Matter of fact, yesterday. And this is what I came up with. But before we go any further, if you happen to like the information that I'm giving you and think it's valuable, please click on subscribe or like, or click the bell so that you can be notified whenever I present a video. Okay? With that being said, let us get started. Now, first thing we must understand that we're made in the image of God. Okay? And because of that, what does that actually mean? That means because the fact that God is spiritual and we are physical beings made of flesh and blood, then being made in the image cannot mean that. It has to mean something different. And what that means is that we're made because God thinks. God can speak. And because we're made in his image, we can think and we can speak. And because we can think and we can speak, we can create. Okay? So, in Nehemiah, I just want to read this for you. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Just want to give you a few viewpoints on how the simple fact of you being able to think and speak, you can create. There'll be a lot more different things I will be giving you in the days to come. But for right now, we're going to use this. It says here in Nehemiah chapter 1, verses 2 through 4. I'm not going to read the whole thing on chapter 1. In your own reading, you need to do it so you get this in its full context. And then we'll go down to chapter 2. But right now it says that Hananiah, one of my brethren, came, he and certain men of Judah. And I asked them concerning the Jews that had escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. And they said unto me, the remnant that are left of the captivity there are in the province are in a great affliction and reproach. And the walls of Jerusalem also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burnt. And it came to pass, when I heard these words, that I sat down, wept, mourned certain days, and fasted, prayed before the God of heaven. And you see here, this thing, see, normally when we create or we think on things, it's because there's a situation that has arisen that need to be rectified, need to be corrected, there's a problem, there's something that came up that we don't know exactly how to fix, so we have to bring a solution to it. And what did he do? He didn't go running around all over the place. He sat down. It says he sat down and wept first and mourned because there was his town that was in distress. And it said he mourned certain days, which means he meditated on this thing. He kept on meditating on it. He would think on it, then bring it back up, think on it some more. And then not only that, he said, in order to get God to respond to me in a favorable manner, that I'm going to fast, that God will know I'm willing to give up some things just to hear from him. So then he said, I prayed before the God in heaven. And after he prayed and did these things, now there's a prayer after this. I'm not going into that because I'm not talking about prayer today. I'm talking about creating and bringing things into fruition. And it says, chapter 2, and it came to pass in the month of Nisan, in the 20th year of Artaxerxes, that the king, that wine was before him, and I took up the wine and gave it unto the king, and had not then before time sat in his presence. Wherefore the king said unto me, why is thy countenance sad, seeing thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of heart. Then I was very sore afraid. And he said unto the king, let the king live forever. Why should I not my countenance be sad when the city and place of my father's sepulchres lie waste, and the gates thereof are consumed with fire? Then the king said unto me, for what dost thou make a request? So I prayed to the God of heaven. And I said unto the king, if it please the king, and if thy servant have found favor in thy sight, that thou wouldest send me to Judah unto the city of my fathers, sepulchre, that I may build it. Now notice he didn't say rebuild, he said build it. And the king said unto me, the queen also sitteth by him, for how long shall thy journey be, and when thou shalt return? So it pleased the king to send me, and I set a time. Moreover, I said unto the king, if it please the king, let letters be given to me to the governors beyond the river, that I may convey me over till I come unto Judah. And the letters unto Asaph, the keepers of the king's forest, that he may give me timber to make beams for the gates and palace which are pertaining to the house, and for the walls and the cities and the house that I shall enter into it. And the king granted me according to the good hand of my God upon me. Then I came to the governors beyond the river and gave them the king's letters. Now the king has sent captains of the army and horsemen with me. Now, let's go back. Because Nehemiah have did the things necessary to find favor, he prayed, he fasted, he prayed, he sought the Lord's face. Then he was meditating on this thing, so much so that it bothered him to the point that it affected the way he looked in front of the king. Now, first of all, he was the king's cupbearer. Now, for those who don't know, back in those days, the reason you had a cupbearer was he was the one that tasted the drink before the king. Because back in those days, they would poison the king to get rid of him. So they invented these cupbearers that tasted first. And if it was good and it was no poison, the cupbearer lived and the king lived. If the cupbearer died, oh well, the king still was alive. Excuse me. So, and Nehemiah must have been a very good cupbearer for the king. Must have been a favorite of the king, because if we can see the king and the king wanted to know what was wrong with him. He said, you ain't sick. So there got to be a problem. There must be something of your heart. And Nehemiah, it says here, now this word sore afraid, you have to understand when the Bible says sore about anything, it means it's a desperate situation. It means he was so afraid to the point of almost trembling, because in those days, you did not come before the king with a sad face or misgivings of any type, because they had the power to kill you at a whim's notice. Just because, oh, you look like that, you can't look pleased in front of me, take his life. And so he was afraid that might happen. So and here's the thing, even though he was afraid, even though he was going through this time, what did he say? He said the king, let the king live forever. He went into that automatic mode of what to do and what to say. And the thing of me, when he said, this is the part that gets me, the king said to him, for what dost thou make a request? So I prayed to the God in heaven. Now you got to understand this. When he said, I prayed to the God in heaven, the king is sitting there waiting for an answer, right? He ain't got 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour for no prayer. You know, the king is waiting on an answer. You can't make the king wait. So this is what they call instant in prayer. Because what happened was, as soon as the king asked him a question, an instant prayer went up, an instant answer come back. And the reason for that is, when you become instant in prayer, it's based on your relationship with God. All right, let me see if I can make this a little clearer. If you have a friend who calls you, who looks out for you, who just look out for your betterment, who just likes to talk to you, and y'all just connected because you're friends, you do things together, you love each other, and they call to see about you, they ain't always wanting something, okay? Then you got this other associate that they don't call but once in a while, and every time they call, they want something. Now, you're busy doing something. Now, the friend, now let's use associate. The associate calls. You're busy. You're doing something. And you look and you see it's them. You say, I'll call them back. It's, you know, they always want, they probably just want something. Now I'll call them when I feel like dealing with them. I really ain't up to that right now. Now, your friend call you, who very rarely wants something, is looking out for your good, who just want to talk to you, want to share with you different things. When they call, I don't care how busy you is, you're going to answer that call because you know they ain't just calling to be calling. Well, that's the same way with our relationship with God. When we're in constant communication with God, when we're talking with God, we're in a relationship with Him, we're not always trying to get something from Him. We just want to praise Him, glorify Him. Then we can be like Nehemiah, instant in prayer, because we already know that he done prayed, he done fasted, so we know he got a relationship with God. He sent this prayer up, and then instantly the prayer came back, and this is what happened. And I said unto the king, if it please the king, and if the servant have found favor in thy sight, that thou wouldst sentence me unto Judah, the city of my father, and servant that I may build. And he didn't say rebuild, he said build. So he's going to create, because not only did he think about it, because he thought about it, he meditated on it, then it came to fruition, he brought it to the king, he spoke it into existence to the king, what he wanted to do and how he wanted to do it, and the king said, okay, what do you need? And he said, I need letters. I don't need no money, I don't need nothing else, I don't need no slaves, I don't need none of that. I just need letters, because I know I got to go through this territory that are my enemies. And if I'm under your protection, nothing will happen to me. God is going to use, because he already said, I found favor through my God. He made the king give me favor. So therefore I knew that when I requested this, it will take place. Why? Because I meditated on it. I prayed on it. I got God to answer me, and God responded. And this is what's taking place. So he said, look, I need letters to get through the land. Then I want you to give me letters to get this timber to rebuild it. Now, hey, listen, let's face it. You try to build something in America without any money, see what happened to you. But all he needed was letters, and he got it done. Now, this is why I say he had to be a really, really favorite of the king, because the king ain't asked him for no letters, ain't asked him for no notes, ain't asked him to sign nothing, none of this. He just gave him what he needed and told him, how long you going to be? Because I need you back here in a certain, so I know how long I got to have somebody else drinking my stuff, testing it, because I don't want to get killed while you miss it. Nehemiah said, okay, he took it, he went, and he got what he needed. And look, and sometimes we got to understand, if we just go to God first, we could save ourselves a lot of troubles. We could have what we want if we meditate on it, if we go to God about it, and then we think about it, then we speak it into existence, it will come to pass. But there is a process, and you gotta go through the process. Some of us think, I just wake up in the morning and say, hey, give me a yacht. I want a yacht. That ain't happening. You know, whatever you do, it gotta be for the glorification of God. If you want to do it, God will give it to you, help you create it, whatever it is, if he's going to get the glory out of it. And when we go back to this part in another day, I'm going to show you how God got the glory out of all this, the miracle that took place. And the real miracle was that he didn't get killed because he went in front of the king all sad, and that he got the letters, that he didn't have to spend no money, that he had a plan, that God gave him how to use this plan, how to do it. Some of us today don't understand what it is we need to do what God would have us to do, because we didn't check with him. If we check with him, he will give us the plan, give us what to do. And one thing we know for sure, if God give it to us, it won't fail. It cannot fail. God's word cannot fail. And when he spoke it into you, and you speak it into somebody else, it will take place. Because we can see this. Why? Because Sam Bell said, I was so afraid, I was scared to death. My knees was trembling, buckling, but I still spoke what God gave me to speak, because they didn't have time for no long conversation, because the king waiting on an answer. So as he opened his mouth, God was giving him what to say. And as he was saying it, the king was saying, okay, okay, okay. And that's what we have to do. Go to God first. We got to meditate on it. We got to pray about it. We got to let God let us know what he want to do, how he wanted to do it. Then he will let us speak it into existence, because once we ask him, we are asking about it, so we're speaking about it, and he's going to let it take place, because he loves us, and the Bible declares he will withhold no good thing from us. He will give us the desires of our hearts if it's going to glorify him. Now, he's not giving you no mansion just so you can run around and tell everybody you got this mansion. He's not giving you no brand new car just so you go pick up women in it and all that kind of stuff. Nah. But if you doing it to glorify him, build his kingdom, you can get it. Because he was going to build Jerusalem, which was God's city. and have been left in shambles and destruction. He was on a mission from God, as the Blues Brothers used to say. I'm on a mission from God. Listen, I hope you found this information is valuable. I will be putting more parts to this, because when you start talking about speaking things into existence, thinking on them, there's not just one aspect of this. It's a litany of them. And not only that, God don't do everything the same way every time. God does what he wants, when he wants, and how he wants. So we have to go to him. Just because he gave Mike Martinez, Master Mike, a way to do something, he might not give it to me the same way. He gave it that was for Mike. He might give Aki something totally different, because that's for me. He might give my Pastor Ernest Wormley Jr. something different, because that's for him. But so whatever. So don't look for it to be the same for everybody, because God gonna do what's best for us. Amen. God bless you. God keep you. God watch over you. And remember, if you like this message, that you enjoyed it, press the like button, hit the bell for notifications, or subscribe, and I'll be sending more of this out. Again, God bless you. God keep you. God watch over you.